What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got a pretty big update about the One Piece trading card game. You see, there's a whole bunch of information right now that Bandai are frankly not telling us. And that's not exactly particularly unusual. They're doing their rollout as companies tend to do when they're launching a new game. That's fine. The good news is they have, however, been sending out information to stores who are then making listings on their websites, which means we can get information which, well, isn't in other places. So we got a whole bunch of new information here which hasn't actually been shared by Bandai, but has been put on websites like Amazon Japan that we can go and look at, and that's good enough for me, ladies and gentlemen. That is very much good enough for me. So, also, not for nothing, but we've actually got like a real proper high quality just scan of the booster pack, and that makes me super happy. So starting off then, we've got information about Romance Dawn, which not for nothing is actually on Amazon Japan at the moment, the #1 bestseller in toys and games. Doesn't really mean very much, but it does mean there is a fair amount of hype for this game, and if like me you want to learn more about this game and you hope it stays around and becomes a thing, this is good, ladies and gentlemen. We like this very much. But far more important is the information under it. Because we've got confirmation that in the booster box, or in the set as a whole, I should say, there are 121 different types of cards. In every pack, you get 6 cards plus an index. Not entirely sure what an index is, I'll be honest with you. In Digimon, you get a memory gauge, and it's got a card list on the back. It's going to be something with a card list on the back, you would imagine. And they come in 6 card packs, and I've been telling you this all along. I told you that we were going to get packs of One Piece in Japan that were 6 card packs, and I told you there were going to be 12 card packs in English. That has now been confirmed. Because over on the Amazon listing, it confirms that they are 6 card packs in Japan, and we previously saw on the live stream the other day, they are confirmed for 12 card packs over here. By over here, I mean US, Europe, etc. That shouldn't surprise anyone. We tend to have TCG packs of around 12 cards. Japan tend to have packs of around 6. That's what Bandai do for Digimon, and like I've told you in a couple of videos now, you should be looking at Digimon when making predictions as to how Bandai are going to treat One Piece. Not Dragon Ball Super, Digimon. Because Digimon is the other game that Bandai run, which is a proper TCG, by which I mean regular releases, starter decks, all that good stuff, that they are running in Japan and in the West. And it's holding true, quite frankly. It's holding true. So, in the set as a whole, in Romance Dawn, there are 8 leaders, 45 common, 30 uncommon, 26 rare, 10 super rare, and 2 secret rare. And if any of you follow the Digimon TCG, and I'm hoping if you've come to this channel, you've at least peeked in occasionally, you will notice that that sounds startlingly familiar. It should. Because what we find here is pretty much the exact same breakdown as we see in Digimon sets. Now, it's not exactly the same. There are a couple of little differences, one of which is obvious, one of which doesn't really make any sense, if I'm honest with you. So if we take BT8 as an example, you'll notice there are 112 cards. That is 9 fewer than we see in this first set of Digimon. And the weird one I don't really understand, in One Piece, the first set, there's an extra common. Why is there an extra common? I don't really know. There just is. But then you've got the 8 leader cards. That's the big difference here. So it seems like, and I've been telling you guys for a while now, in 2 different videos I've told you, that we can start making some real strong predictions about how One Piece is going to run by looking at how Digimon is treated by Bandai. And what we've got here is a set where the rarity breakdown is basically exactly the same, but with 8 leader cards thrown in. Now, what this basically, and we kind of knew this before, but this basically tells us that this is one of those card games where there are leaders, and you build your deck around that leader to support that leader. So leader becomes essentially a different type of card, another rarity, that has to be added in. Why is there a 45th common? I don't understand, but the card designers probably have a reason. But you should expect this moving forward. One of the things we see about Digimon is that the rarity breakdown set to set is startlingly similar. If we go and have a look at BT7, we've got Exactly the same breakdown, except for some reason in BT8 they randomly added in 8 campaign rares. Didn't do it before, haven't done it since. Very occasionally you'll get like an extra super rare like there was in the 4th set. It changes ever so slightly, but you should expect this to be a pattern for the sets moving forward. Now, we haven't been told a price here, but the price we've got is 4,800 yen for a booster box. That's what it's being listed for over on Amazon Japan, and that is directly in line with a booster box of, for instance, BT9. Okay, fine, that's actually listed as 4,752, so a few yen over, but it's not exactly particularly unusual. So, what this tells us is, and this should be to the surprise of nobody, that what we've got here is essentially a price dead in line with the Digimon TCG. Again, we should be expecting, until we're proven otherwise, and so far everything we're seeing is in line, we should be expecting it to be in line with Digimon until we're given reason otherwise. What that means is that packs of the One Piece TCG should be costing about $4.20 a pack. That is £4.19 in the UK or $4.19 over in the US. Rather upsettingly, we have seen an increase in price in BT8. That is a first set which saw a bit of a price increase. I would expect One Piece to follow that new slightly higher price. That seems to now be the standard price. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. So expect them to be $4.20 a pack. Expect them to be in boxes containing 24 booster packs. And expect boxes to be 24 times $4.19, which is $156, either £100 or $100.56, depending on where you are. Although obviously a bunch of places will offer it cheaper, but that is the recommended retail price, the MSRP. Okay, so that's kind of cool. But we've also got listings for the 4 starter decks. Now, we're not going to go through these one by one. There is absolutely no reason to go through them one by one because the information we have about all 4 of them is the same. They are releasing on July the 8th. Now, that's interesting because the set, which I never actually told you, let me tell you now, is releasing on July the 22nd. We knew they were releasing in July. I cannot promise you for an absolute fact that the starter decks are releasing on July the 8th and booster boxes of the first set are releasing just a little bit later on July the 22nd. However, I've been following Amazon Japan listings for Digimon, Pokemon, etc. for a while now, and they tend to be right. So expect this to be the thing. Expect a release date of the 8th of July for the starter decks and the 22nd of July for the booster boxes. We are also told they cost 990 yen, which is pretty much in line with what we see for Digimon starter decks. What is interesting here is that when the first lot of Digimon card games starter decks came out, they were 550 yen in Japan. They were proper budget decks. That is not what they're doing with One Piece. They're launching at 990, which is honestly pretty standard. Now, we're also told that there are 17 different types of cards included, and there are 51 cards in a pre-constructed deck. What does that tell us? It tells us that decks in One Piece are made up of 1 leader card and a 50-card deck. Now, again, I cannot guarantee you that this is true, but come on. Again, if we look at Digimon, what you get in a Digimon starter deck is you get yourself a full deck, which is 50 cards, plus you get 4 Digitama. Although, to be fair, you can have 5 Digitama, so there is 1 extra card you can add if you want to. That is what we should be expecting here. You buy a starter deck, and it is a full ready-to-play deck. That is to say, a leader and a proper 50-card deck. Lovely. So expect these to come out in the US for somewhere in the region of $10, and expect them to be exactly the same. And I mean exactly the same. Now, they did a weird thing with Digimon, where in the first lot of starter decks, they included a random booster pack. Maybe they'll do that again. But when I say exactly the same, what I mean is expect the same cards in the deck. Expect this starter deck 1 to have the exact same set list in Japan as it has when it comes over to the West. Maybe it will be $10 including a booster pack, just like the first starter decks were. when they came over for Digimon, but outside of that, expect it to be the same. You should also expect, and again, we do not know this for a fact, but you should also expect that these are exclusive cards. That's what they've been doing with Digimon all the way along. Every card in the starter deck is exclusive. Now, recently they have started doing some reprints, and they did actually do starter deck 11, which is entirely reprints. But at least the first lot of starter decks, first few starter decks, they were all brand new starter decks, brand new cards, no reprints. I would expect the same here. Can't promise, can't guarantee, but if we assume they're treating it like Digimon and all the signs are that they are, same pack sizes in the US and over in Japan, roughly the same difference in release dates between the US and Japan, same release of having some starter decks, waiting a couple of weeks, and then having the main first set, same rarity breakdown. I could keep going, you get the point here. There's a lot that's very similar, so I would expect these starter decks to have exclusive cards. One thing to note that they do with Digimon, and if they are exclusive cards like I expect, that I would also expect them to do with One Piece, some of them are going to come as 2-ofs. If it's 4 copies as a playset, and we do not know what playsets look like, we have no information on that, but in Digimon, it's 4 cards for a playset, and most cards in the starter deck come as a 4-of, but some come as a 2-of, forcing you to buy 2 of every starter deck. That might be the same here. That is a wait-and-see scenario. So we know what the starter decks look like. There are 4 of them, like I've said. All of them are 990 yen. All of them come with 17 different types of cards. All of them come with a 51-card pre-constructed deck, which we should expect to be a 50-card deck with a leader and all exclusive cards not found in the first set. And we've also got a listing for the next starter deck, because I told you there was going to be the One Piece starter deck film edition. This is coming later. And we have a release date of August the 6th. And again, I see absolutely no reason why that wouldn't be the proper release date. I have seen for both Digimon and Pokemon, when these release dates go up over on Amazon Japan, these tend to be the real release dates. Well, to be fair, August the 6th is a Saturday, which is slightly weird. We would expect these to be released on Friday, so I'm not entirely sure about that one, but if these aren't right, they should be extremely close, like a day or 2 out at the most. So, essentially, what we've got here is another starter deck, and this one is being sold for 550 yen. But there's no difference here. What I mean by that is, you've still got 17 different types of cards, you've still got a 51-card pre-constructed deck. It is, in terms of the breakdown, the description, call it what you will, exactly the same as the other starter decks I've shown you. What does that mean? Well, it's a budget deck which is being released as a promotional thing. They are giving you the 4 regular starter decks, which are the regular starter decks at the regular prices, but then they're waiting 1 month, and to be fair, it's not even really 1 month, because it's a month since the first starter decks came out. There's only actually a couple of weeks between the release of Romance Dawn and then the release of the starter deck film edition. So all of these are coming in fairly quick succession. And they're releasing this at a lower price point. And this is essentially going to be to try and hook people who either have seen the film, because remember, this is specifically focused on the film, or people who want to try the game but want to try and buy it at a slightly cheaper price. It's just a little over half the price. And yes, you should expect a similar cadence over here. You should expect the starter decks to be released in a couple of weeks before we get the first set. Or maybe in line with, we'll see. You can't really judge that with Digimon because we had a whole bunch of delays due to the whole damn panic. And then you should expect the starter deck film edition, the starter deck 5, to come out very soon afterwards, a couple of weeks to a month later. So what do we know? We actually know quite a bit. We know that the prices are in line with Digimon, so expect $4.20 a pack. We know that the rarity breakdown is in line with Digimon. We have actual release dates of July the 8th for starter decks 1 to 4, July the 22nd for the first set, and August the 6th for starter deck 5. It seems very much like we have 50 card decks plus 1 leader. And now we wait for everything else. We still have no idea about the rules, and I'm sorry about that. But this is a huge update. Compared to what we knew, these listings are giving us so much more information, and I, for one, am delighted. But do bear in mind, one of the most important things we're learning here is that Bandai are really mirroring what they did with Digimon. In terms of the rarity breakdown, in terms of the pack sizes, in terms of the release cadence. They are doing a lot, just like they did with Digimon, as we should expect them to do. And what that means is, price as well. And what that means is, when we're looking to make predictions in the future, following Digimon seems like a fairly sensible thing to do. Oh, and actually, as one last tiny little thing, which I can't really tell you very much about at all, I'm afraid, but it turns out that if you buy all 4 starter decks as a group over on Amazon Japan, you can actually get a special storage box. Now, they have done this for Digimon as well, and it was done when you bought all the starter decks, and it was done through Amazon Japan. It was pretty much the exact same promotion. They haven't actually shown us what it looks like, which is a little bit sad. But this is still very cool. I will say the boxes that they've done a couple over in Amazon Japan, they have been made available over here as well, so they haven't actually stayed exclusive to Amazon Japan. That is worth pointing out. But it is literally, you buy the 4 starter decks for the price of the 4 starter decks, and you get the storage box as well. If you're able to order from Amazon Japan, it's something you might want to look into. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about all of this, everything I've said, and I want to hear your predictions. This is the biggest update we've had so far. We now know prices, release dates, etc., at least for Japan. And now I want to hear from you guys, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about a whole bunch of card games, including One Piece. And do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.